up guys, and welcome to this week's episode of We Are the Bonsai Supply. I am Jerome, and today we're going to work on this Chinese elm right here. So this tree is a very old Chinese elm, and it is being shipped like this to us from China directly. So these trees are being shipped with only cocoa peat inside the burlap, and also they have to remove all the leaves in order for them to be able to ship these trees here. So these trees are being shipped in a temperature controlled container, and they're at sea for about 30 days. So when these trees are being shipped, they think that they are falling asleep because it's cold inside the container and it's dark, so they naturally go to sleep, right? And that's how they are able to survive for such a long time without any water or any sunlight, because they feel like they're going to sleep. So now that these trees have arrived, we have to pot them immediately, and then they will come back and grow like crazy. So the way that they put these really cool movements into these trees is, I've been to one of these nurseries in China where they produce these trees, and the land that they grow these trees on, they're so big like you wouldn't believe. They're hundreds, maybe even thousands of acres big, and they have these trees planted in the ground, and they kind of look like this. So they put them in the ground as like little whips, and so they have the trees growing like this in line, and they have a wire fence that runs next to them, and as soon as they are about this tall, they start to bend the trunks, for instance like that, and then they attach it to the wire fence, and then they would attach it again on the top like that. So there's like 1, 2, 3 wires, and they just keep attaching the trees to the wire, and that's how they get these crazy bends, right? So obviously a tree this size, they had probably a wire here, another one here, and then one on top. And so they let this tree grow until it got to about this size, and then they cut the tree here. You can actually see the cut in the back. And then they started the training of the branches, and they finished the top. So now I'm gonna have to go in here and work on this this cut right here, and maybe cut it a little closer at an angle so that the taper on top is a little more dramatic. I feel like it gets lost right up here. So before they can ship the trees to us here to the United States, they actually have to remove all the leaves in order for them to be able to ship them. They also have to wash all of the roots. They have to wash away all of the soil, and then they just wrap them with this burlap and cocoa peat, and that's how they are able to ship these trees. So this is a tremendous amount of work to get these trees ready to be shipped, right? So talking about this elm right here, this elm comes in a lot of different sizes. This is the, let me see, I believe, oh yeah, so this is the 50 centimeter size. And when they talk about 50 centimeter size, they actually don't talk about the size of the tree. They talk about the size of the pot that it came out of before it was shipped to this country. So when they dig them up out of the ground, they first put them into a pot to establish the roots, and then they ship them. So that's why this is a 50 centimeter pot that it came out of. So we just got in our shipment a few days ago, and we have been very busy potting all the trees up. So they all came completely bare rooted, and we had to pot them into this soil mixture here, and now they will come back within maybe 2 weeks. They will be fully leafed, and then they will also be available on the website. So these are a couple different sizes that we have. This will probably go into like an 8-inch pot, and this will go into like a 10-inch pot. So they all have incredible, really cool movement. So I can't wait for them to fully leaf out. And so this tree, it has great movement, and I like that it's not too dramatic because this tree is very tall. So I like that it has a very gentle movement. The only thing that's bothering me on this tree is this right here on the top. This is the on the apex. This is where they did the final cut before they grew the apex. So now I want to go in here with the saw and just fix this a little bit, because it doesn't look very pleasant to the eye at the moment. Other than that, I really do like the shape that it has. It has all the branches on the outside of the movement, which is great, right? It's actually something that you want to look look for when you look for a good tree. So you see how the branches are on the outside of the movement. There's no branches on the inside. This is on the outside of the movement, and then this right here on top. So it's perfect. So now we have to go ahead and get it out of this burlap and actually pot it, tie it down, and then take a look at the aftercare of the tree, because we want to make sure that this tree survives, because it came from such a long journey. We want to make sure that this tree survives. So the first step would be to take a look at this and fix this top. So now this tree is pretty much finished for today. I cleaned this up on top here, this cut a little better. You can really see the chainsaw cut before. Now I cut it at an angle like that, and then I use my knob cutters to kind of make it a little bit caved in on the top so that it can heal much better. I also scratched the edges right here with a sharp blade so that it can heal over much better, and then this cut will eventually be healed, and then you will never see that this tree has actually been trained like that where the top would be cut. I'm actually pretty impressed. It has a great root base. It flares out at the bottom, and it has some really nice roots on top. And I think this is going to be my front. This right here. It has a very elegant movement. It's not too much, and it hides that big cut at the end, in the back. But at the same time, this could also be a pretty nice front as well. So that's a really good problem to have. Right? Before I forget, I also sealed the top with cut paste. That's so that the freshly open section there can heal very nicely. and it's not going to get any rot there or get an insect infestation or anything like that. So this is sealed. And now the next step, I'm going to have to go ahead and do the aftercare. So I watered it thoroughly and I misted the branches. So I watered it thoroughly, and I also watered the entire tree and everything. And now I'm going to place it into a shaded area, which is our greenhouse area. And a mist comes on a couple times a day and completely soaks the tree, number one, but also mists the entire top. What that does, it really makes sure that I'm not going to lose any branches or that I have any dieback. That mist really helps for the tree to stay moist while it's recovering. So I keep it in that mist for about a week, and then after the week is up, I'm going to move it out into a shaded area. And then once I see that the tree is actually starting to really push, that's when I'm going to move it out into full sun. Actually, it's already starting to push, so that is actually a fantastic sign. So that means that I potted it just at the right time as the tree has been beginning to push. So that means it went dormant inside the container, but now it's been a few days since it has arrived, and it's really humid and hot here in Florida, in South Florida to be exact, and it's already budding out, so it's a fantastic sign. So I know that this tree is going to make it without any problems. It's actually really hard to find any good elms, especially Chinese elms this size, with movement and a little bit of root flare as well. So I'm very pleased with this tree. This is the smaller brother of this one, and it's only been a week since I repotted both of these, and they both already are coming back really strong. So I'm very surprised about that, but it just shows that in the tropics, trees do come back a lot faster. I mean, both of these trees have been at sea for over 30 days, and they couldn't wait to get out into the fresh air and the humidity and the sunlight to start to grow again. So it's really nice to see that they both come back super strong. And this one actually over here in the back, it threw out some antennas, so it's coming back super strong. So now the Chinese elms are on the website, and they are for sale. The smaller ones, if you're interested in one of the bigger ones, please send us an email at info@thebonsaisupply.com. And the smaller ones are now online, available as pre-bonsai as well as finished bonsai, and they come in two different sizes. The Fukian teas and podocarpus and the tiger bark ficus, they need a little more time, but the Chinese elms are already ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please make sure to write them below, comment below, and catch you guys next time.